Hi, Arpit. Thank you so much for taking our time for this interview. May we request you to please share your journey, your story in your own words?
No, my pleasure, Dikshita, and thanks for inviting me as well. So yeah, let me give you a bit of a background. So I have been in Bombay most of my life. I did my schooling here, did my engineering then from IIT Bombay in civil engineering. And as most of the engineers, I wasn't too sure what I want to do in life. But then I did know that probably business side is the calling for me through a few of my internships that I'd done at KPMG, EY, and CLSA Equity Research that got me closer to finance and the business world. Although I was closely related to the infrastructure sector as well,
Mm-hmm.
because all of these domains, somewhere down the line, it was for the infrastructure sector. I joined CRISIL
Mm-hmm.
in their infra-advisory domain. It's consulting essentially. So we used to consult governments, multilaterals, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, to release work in the infra sector. I had my own startup for a bit.
Oh, interesting.
And pretty cool stuff, pretty intense. But yeah, I think once you do the startup, you realize it's a lot of effort. It does sound cool, but it's extremely grueling as well. But a great experience, a great learning curve, and something really good that we could achieve as well. But always, I think MBA was in the back of my mind, and especially after my startup, it kind of became more appealing to me. When you realize that a lot of business calls you're taking just because of your gut feeling and your understanding. And that's where, it kicked in that, no, probably a formal business education would really help me in making these business calls and important decisions. And yeah, and that's when I did my MBA from ISB. I have done my MBA in finance. I was pretty lucky enough to go in for an exchange
Oh,
in Boston in Harvard and Fletcher. So I had kind of the best of both worlds here in India as well, with peers and a place where it probably I'd want to build my career in the long term,
mm-hmm.
and having that global exposure of being in a global business school in one of the renowned institutions in the world as well. That's been a pretty interesting and an enriching journey. And post that, I took up a role with Shell in their investment team.
All right.
So it's essentially mergers and acquisitions in the mobility business, which is the newer business. When we focus on EV, renewables, smart fuels, efficient technologies. So yeah, in their acquisitions team. So I'm part of the global investment pool there and enjoying my journey there for now.
Oh, well, congratulations on your successful journey so far.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so in your opinion, what are a few factors or actions you took that made all the difference?
Well, I'd say a lot many things, but I think something really key to my success, I'd say, is guidance at the right time
All right.
from somebody who's, probably showed me the right path and supported me.
All right.
So that's been the key, right from, pursuing my engineering, how do I prepare for that? Then even how do I kind of chart my trajectory when you're not sure what you want to do?
Right.
How do you kind of, there are tons of paths that you can take, but which is the path that you should at that point in time? Because of course you don't have the time, resources, or the energy to tread on multiple roads.
Right.
So I'd say guidance, one of the key,
Mm.
and support from peers, family. That really helped me kind of, be where I am.
That's nice. Okay, so with the benefit of hindsight, what are a few mistakes you believe you committed in the process?
Specifically to say pursuing my MBA,
Mm-hmm.
I think I should have done it a bit sooner. And I wasn't quite aware of how intense this process can be. Right from giving GMAT, your applications, the intense essays, which kind of makes you ponder about your entire life journey, which you haven't till date. So that becomes, I thought it could be easy, but I mean, it's pretty grueling and it takes a lot of time, effort, and a lot of iterations when you have to showcase the best part of you and present something which is well thought, well written, well articulated. So I think that's where I felt I should have started a bit earlier in my prep for MBA. And my personal suggestion to people is that at the time in your careers when you feel that you're getting stagnated, probably that's the right time and if you really do want to, pursue something as a business career, management and business, you should definitely think of an MBA right from that period itself and not wait for the number of years or, a particular thing to happen in your life wherein you take those calls and decisions.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's a really nice suggestion you've shared with us. So, going back to your GMAT prep phase, what were the main resources you used, and what suggestion will you give to the future GMAT aspirants regarding that?
Yeah, so I think this is a very subjective question, I would say, for everyone. So just a caveat here, whatever my response is,
Mhm.
it could be really different for you,
Right.
because GMAT is, it's a very different exam than the regular exams that we've kind of been given a day in and day out. Essentially, it's a test of your mental ability. However, there is a good chance of you improving that ability, at least for the test score, by practice and persistence. To answer your specific question on the GMAT resources, I think the official guide should definitely be your Bible. I think the official, the verbal, the quant section, the books which are there, each and everyone should, probably do solve the questions out there because those are similar to the questions that you're kind of going to be asked in the exam. But it's never about, how much you do and, how many months do you spend, or it's basically smart work.
All right.
And you need to be in a situation wherein you understand yourself and use the resources which suit you. So apart from GMAT official, which I would recommend everyone, I guess there are a lot of other resources available on the internet as well. There are a lot of big players in the market who support with your GMAT prep. I wouldn't rate anyone good, better, best, but I think they're all meant to improve your ability
Right.
to perform better in the exam for sure.
Yeah.
Having said that, it's important that you do focus on your weak areas and probably pursue it from multiple sources, But the important thing is, where your weak spots are and try to be as best as you can there.
Right. Okay. So, what would you like to say about your experience and learnings from managing the application timeline?
Again, an interesting part. Timeline, I mean, do note that at least you can assume that you take 2 to 3 times the time that you think, you can do your application in.
Right.
So I'd tell you to go with that timeline in mind. If you're thinking that, yeah, I want to pursue my MBA after 3 years of my work X, I think the right time to start is after you complete your second year of your work X and, probably even sooner as well. So I think you should keep about 6 months to 1 year as the pre-lag period between when you want to apply to these business schools. Because there are a lot of things like your GMAT prep, there are these certificates, you need recommendation letters, you need to build your storyline, the reviews happen. So it takes time, and with work, it can take a bit more. And another important thing is that you may not be able to, crack the school that you want to in your first go. So you need to be well prepared. So if you're starting a bit earlier in your applications, it gives you that headroom and there's the space to, try out other schools or probably, improve your GMAT score, which can be very crucial. I mean, it's not to pressurize, but it's just starting early really helps. And I think I made that mistake. I probably feel that, I could have done my MBA a year earlier. But yeah, I think you should keep in mind that, it does take some time, and basis when you want to pursue, you should definitely look at, and an important thing is to look at the dates, the application dates. So I think your planning begins from having these listed out and then working backwards.
Okay. That's a great way to go about it. So, would you like to describe your interview experience with the P School?
Interview experiences. Okay. I'd say that, these interview experiences are kept pretty candid and straightforward. So do not expect it to be extremely painful. What's the objective of the interview? Let's go with that. The objective is to see what you've written in your application. That makes sense, A, and you are the same person. B, how well do you put yourself up? Are you a person who they would, probably want in their school? And are you confident enough? Do you seem to be rational in your thinking? And how well you kind of interact with people?
Okay.
So I think these are the major key areas where they want to evaluate you on, and that's why they need that interview. My interview experiences, I think wherever I've been thinking too much, or been a bit more cautious that, oh, this is a great school, and I want to kind of get into this school, and I'm with that stress and pressure, I've not been the best.
Right.
So you are the best when you're a bit relaxed, and I think you should take these interviews as a normal conversation. Each of you would probably be working somewhere. You are interacting with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And people like candid nature. People like, you don't need to be a genius. Right. I mean, no, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. You need to understand your strengths and be really strong about it, and also know a bit of your weaknesses, but have that mentality to, work on them, improve upon them, and show cases in the past when you've tried to make an effort to improve that. And great if you've been successful at that. My interview experience with many schools has been pretty good, I would say. Very straightforward. I think, as I told you, they'd like to know more about you as a person. You can convey as well. And always take these interviews as a way to understand about their school as well. I mean, however good a school it may be, you are investing 2 years of your life. Yeah. You are investing a shitload of money, and you should really get what you want for, out of this experience. And it's not just about the brand name, Pace is what you really want to do in your life. You'd be able to kind of probably perform even better if you choose another school, and which really makes sense for your career path. So have that in mind as well. That will also give you a bit of a confidence to kind of, tackle these interviews very well. You'd come up as someone who's pensive in his or her thought process, who's a bit more aware and appreciative of the fact that they are investing their time and money, and they'd want to get the best out of it. Okay. I guess, however calm and composed you are in the interview, I think that's going to get the best out of you. They'd see you as a person, right? Which is the important thing.
Yeah, that is true. So, can you tell us more about your MBA experience at ISB?
ISB has been by far probably one of the best few years, I would say. And I think MBA generally, I really feel that it really broadens your perspective. It gives you that larger picture. It won't give you solutions, but it'll give you possible options, or the choices that you can make. It will kind of list that out for you, and then you can pick and choose basis a more rational analysis. So it gives you that structure, formal structure. It gives you the network. It gives you great peers. There are amazing professors. I think the interactions, the thought process, etc. I think when you share it with your peers, with your professors, groups, you have different activities that you can kind of participate in. It really evolves you as a person. And I'm not sure, but generally people say all of these things, but it's more of to experience rather than just hear about it. But needless to say, MBA experience is what you make out of it. And my journey has been really enriching. I really enjoyed doing what I wanted to do. I participated in activities which, I couldn't have done sitting outside. I was into the mobility sector earlier as well, pretty gaga about EV. I could form a club there. I had really amazing peers. We had a lot of fun along with, working. I learned a lot about a deeper knowledge about finance, which I wanted to. I was lucky enough to get an experience to go to Harvard and Fletcher in Boston, which was an altogether different experience with people coming in from diverse backgrounds and a different country, different culture. So in totality, I'd say it really definitely evolved me as a person. It's something that I am really happy that I've taken as my decision to go, and it's worth every penny that you spend.
Wow, it's quite a wholesome experience, I believe.
No, it is. Thanks, Vikshita.
Right, okay. So, can you tell us about your job search experience during the MBA and what tips will you give to the future MBA applicants regarding that?
So the job search, I'd say, I was kind of thinking why the application process generally is kept so grueling. Why do you have to kind of, go through a lot many things before you get into an MBA school? And one of the reasons I feel is because it's not easy in an MBA school. So it kind of is a test
Mm.
for somebody who's able to kind of get through that grueling application process, because it's going to be equally grueling inside. So, and right from academics, your very smart peers to finally placements, which is one of the most important aspects that you kind of think of. But I think it's more about how you project yourself, what you want to do, how you try to understand what suits you best. That will really help kind of chart that placement, where you want to go and which firms should you kind of focus on. But in my experience, it
Mhm.
definitely was not that straightforward for sure. You had to work a lot. There's a lot of effort that you put in building your resumes, in speaking to people, in networking, interacting. But at the end of the day, it's definitely worth all of the effort
Okay,
because you get to pick and choose
right.
as well.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of firms, and trust me, all of these firms want to hire great talent. And it then boils down to how you're effectively able to communicate your learnings in the past and how you're a great fit for their firm. And my placement experience, of course, was I did try for a couple of sectors in the, I was more focused on the finance bit, but then you also come in with, your plan B and plan C.
Right.
Which was a consulting and, general management. So you have to work towards it, but, focus towards one of the key sectors that you want to be in. And I guess once you are in the MBA school, there are a lot of resources and support system which kind of guide you and help you navigate this journey. Just like you'd find people, in your application process or inside. I think it's the support system really helps you navigate those challenges. And yeah, at the end, everything works out. Sorry, just one thing I'd also like to add is that placements is not the only thing. It's not just about which job you get in your MBA school.
Right.
The network that you've created and the brand that you get from your MBA school, I mean, it'll take you places.
Right.
So even if, I hope not, but even if you're not able to bag your dream offer or something, It's extremely easy to, get into that trajectory going forward in life just because of your extensive alumni network and your brand name of the MBA and your efforts, of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, that's nice. All's well that ends well, right?
Exactly.
So, can you tell us about your journey post MBA? Like, how did the entire pre application process actually contribute to your growth post MBA?
Yeah. As I mentioned before, the pre-application process, it does kind of, help you realize that it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And I guess it kind of also makes you ponder about yourself,
Yeah.
what you are good at, what kind of works best for you, and what you really want to do in life. And with these, when you kind of introspect, you probably have a better clarity of probably, where you'd want to be. Of course, these things change drastically in your MBA school, and that's fine. That's completely okay and acceptable. But that introspection
Right.
does get you to a place wherein you feel that, yeah, probably this is something wherein I'd want to kind of try and see.
Right.
And then MBA experience does give you enough opportunities to do that. My post MBA, I'm in the investment domain. I wanted to be in the investment domain. I was lucky enough, things clicked in, and I could get something that I wanted in the sector that I wanted, that's mobility. But even if you're not able to get that, I guess sooner or later, just because if when you're focused, and you know that you want to be in this sector, you've thought about it, you generally make those efforts and calls
Right.
to land at the right place and, know the right people, have those connections and be in touch, and then, get it to the right conclusion.
Right. Okay. So, what would be your final message or suggestion to all the viewers watching this video?
Okay, so one, ask questions. Have somebody as your mentor in the entire process, somebody who's gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
Take suggestions, but definitely it's your journey and the final call should be yours because you know the best about you. The second, start early in your application processes. Be mindful, it is a challenging and grueling process. And perhaps I'd suggest at least if not for GMAT, but at least for your MBA applications, you should take up somebody, an agency who's kind of, done this in the past. They have success factors. My application process, I think Experts Global really helped. And probably ISB's, the selection,
Mm-hmm.
I do give it a lot to Experts Global because of their suggestions on my essays, etc. I couldn't kind of, craft it myself. So have somebody who's, an expert in this domain because application and essay writing is not that easy.
Yeah. Right.
Then again, probably, once you are in your MBA school, you really should know that it's not about competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's about growing yourself as a person because eventually
Mm-hmm.
everyone will, land at the places that they are destined to be
Right.
and they want to be. These 1 or 2 years of your life, you can aim at upskilling yourself, knowing more about yourself and others, and expanding your knowledge base as much as you can. And finally, wherever you are, I think whatever you are planning to do in life, your placements, etc., be mindful that the best will come out when you don't take stress about anything. So, needless to say, I think fear or stress, I think that's what we kind of generally grip it. And while we're performing not that well, but I think calmness and when you're a bit more confident about yourself with that calm attitude, I think the best comes out.
Right.
And you should be aware that it's really okay to fail as well. I mean, you learn a lot. You learn more when you fail
Mm-hmm.
than you succeed. And everyone in their lives has failed and then they've grown in life.
Right.
It's not possible to grow without failures as well. And hope for the best then.
Right.
Be with a positive mindset.
Yes. Okay, great. This was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and experiences with us. And I'm sure, your suggestions, they're all going to help a lot of students in their journey to success as well. So thank you so much for giving us your time. Yeah,
Thanks, Ikshita, for having me here, and thank you for being such a great host.
thank you so much. It was great talking to you. Okay.
Same here.
Yeah.
Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.